is the world we live in. These are the days of our lives.
All right. Whoa. Okay. All right.
Boom. Okay.
Boom. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right? Okay.
Okay.
Boom.
All right.
So, boom.
Okay.
Okay. Right?
All right.
Right?
Okay. Yep.
Boom.
Hey ho.
It was a big weight. I didn't know you like shake weights.
Like the ones that dispense that cool you off.
Yeah. This one's got the extra solvent.
And give you the taxi.
The bubbly.
The cab fare.
Thing.
South Park. So kill this. It would just go. The cab fare.
Then it like falls asleep or some shit.
Yeah, I guess the
It
cab
like
fare
powers
goes
down.
up.
Like it's a good joke.
Okay.
Back at it again like we never left. Coke and Dank. Dank and Coke is Dully the Weapons.
Hey, Dank.
Hey, Coke. You're not ready.
I'm saying earlier today. I had to pull up the. I was like, oh no, my phone went off. Earlier today, my brother threw a glass of milk at me. How dare he?
That wasn't interracial.
No, I didn't find it right.
You just you threw a chocolate milk at me. How dare you?
You have goat to be kidding me.
See, like, that makes more sense for what we're talking about.
Shit just goat serious.
that doesn't deserve the laugh you're getting. How dare you?
Sorry, I feel bad.
You wrote these down. You fuck.
Yeah.
You sadistic fuck.
Here we go again.
You know, even a genie only gives 3 wishes. So if you're trying to keep rubbing this lamp,
I mean, something's goat to give.
clearly you are.
For goat's sake, that's enough.
You're just gonna keep rubbing it.
No, I'm good. This is another episode of Arc Analysis.
That's the intro for it.
No. It is now.
Remember that. Remember, you have to do that every time, and your head has to snap back like that too. You're just giving the business. You're giving network to whatever goat you're watching.
Today we haven't done one in a little while.
And you're the lead.
Today we're doing Quantum and Woody.
I'm supposed to be the color to your lead, commentating.
The world's worst superhero team.
I wouldn't say that. They're pretty awesome.
No, that's the name of the arc.
That's stupid.
The world's worst superhero team.
I don't think that's even true.
Volume 1. So it covers issues 1 to 4 of the 2013.
Batman and anyone is a world's worst superhero team. Because it's not a team. It's just Batman.
He's just
Batman. It's like featuring.
It's Batman and...
It's like Batman and Superman. It's like, we're the team. It's like, we're not a team. This is what you need to do for me.
Yeah, even Superman. I just fucking do...
Where is she?
I thought you were thinking about something. You were just building up...
I was trying to figure out what quote of him, of Bale, screaming.
His weird ass...
As much as he's not my Batman, that fucking performance as Batman is both hilarious and amazing.
Yeah, it's
mix. So weird that he goes so deep into the like he's literally a dude on steroids.
Was his voice that weird in Batman Begins?
No,
it wasn't, right? He got that later, right? Yeah, because I remember Batman Begins being fine, and then
at the most he does a whisper to the back of Jim Gordon's like neck. He's like, "Now there's 2 of us." So he's a little more seductive with his shit, and Scarecrow's always fucking him up with mind like. Drugs and shit, so like he's never really fully there. But when come Dark Knight or Dark Knight,
it was Dark Knight, right?
Yeah. He's Rachel. Like he just goes straight from the fucking. Yeah, we're fucking up the EQ balances on our Bale impressions.
Anybody wearing headphones for that one?
Well, you knew what you signed up. This is not your first.
I've been on Reddit and I've seen guys just fucking lose it for podcasts that aren't done perfectly.
Oh, they don't set the levels?
Yeah, it's like,
you gotta set the levels.
if you're gonna do podcasts, do it fucking right. Do this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I mean, we do, but sometimes things get a little excited.
We get close to the mic. We're still waiting to get a second mic rig here. Like, that's how professional we are. We spent more time reading comics than doing the work.
Because we're passionate.
About sharing one mic?
We're passionate.
We're passionate about Nas.
All I need is one.
Yeah! Zing, 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 zing. Black. Okay, let's talk about his pretty damn good comic. Yeah.
Valiant comic.
Variant. Variant.
Yeah, that's right. Variant comic.
Variant comment.
What'd you think?
That's it? You're not even going to give background? You're just straight into it?
No,
You're going to talk about writers, artists.
Yes, we do need to do all that.
Launch dates. Come on, man. Give some background.
I said from 2012, 2013. But, so the original one, the original continuity back from when Valiant first started, like the Volume 1. This is Volume 2 we're doing, but Volume 1 was created by Christopher Priest and M.D. Bright. But this one, just want to give a shout out to the original creators. Okay. This one was written by James Asmus and art by Tom Fowler. Mm-hmm. I went for...
I concur.
Went for about a dozen issues overall before it ended. We haven't read all of it. We just read the first 4 for this arc.
Which is weird because they don't really give you much of an arc. This is the best, to be continued. Like, this is one of the best series that makes me want to read more of the series because it doesn't give me enough. Like, I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
For more.
Yeah. So that's a short arc. Usually the graphic novels go about 5 issues deep, right?
Right.
4 is a little short, I thought, but it is what it is.
As are these characters. They're a little short.
I
think Woody is.
I brought up the original creators, I just remembered, because I wanted to note that these 2 characters were inspired by Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes from White Men Can't Jump.
Right. So there's another interracial duo that we're bringing. Yeah. Again, why you could have said chocolate milk in the intro, but you don't want to play that card. Fair enough.
I was bad.
Don't play that card. You've already overplayed that card. I don't want to talk about ghosts. And I guess this is my 3rd favorite Woody.
Behind, Woody from Toy Story, but who else?
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson? Okay.
He's getting to be a national gem. Zombieland 2 is in theaters on DVD by the time he reaches. It's on Blu-rays, guys, and they're gonna do Zombieland 3. I'm predicting it now. The resurrection of Bill Murray's ghost.
Because these 2 are adopted brothers, right?
Correct.
They tell you that, and they throw flashbacks in. Well, you just want to get into it?
Well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, let's get into it.
It's an arc analysis. So let's arc it. Analyze.
Yeah.
Clang.
So issue 1 starts with them just flying out of a window.
Yeah,
right. So it's
like most comics, they throw you right into the action.
Yeah, full costume. So.
And then you're reading and you peel back the layers. So it's not even a new trope. Like, every comic book starts with, like, you're already in the action. So either you like what the fuck's going on, or you're like,
yeah, you want to.
Hopefully I keep reading to catch up where it's going.
Yeah.
The last time I read a linear comic book has been a long time.
No, I don't. They don't really do them anymore.
They exist, but they're so not the trope now,
yeah,
right? Like, everyone's just like, let me get you into this world. Like, what's the word where they put you around and surround you and immerse you? Immerse you. I've been drinking too much non-chocolate milk to understand what's going on here. And then obviously they give the hilarious reference in the
news
first
reporting.
2 pages.
Yeah.
Well, hide your women, hide your kids.
Yeah, he's
jumping in people's windows.
And they even called them the world's worst superhero team.
So, again, they're dating themselves from the jump. Because if I read this 6 years later, I'm like, who's this guy?
Well, this was written around... When did that video clip came around the same time? Yeah, so this was hot. Yeah. This was a hot topic then.
Right.
Hide your kids.
How often are... Which is a great question for the Answer members. Like, how often are you reading a comic book title when it first drops? Because a lot of the comic books I found to love are something that I've had to retrogradely... Go back to. Yeah. So starting your whole kind of...
It's an expensive hobby, but I was doing it for a few years, and it's like... Shit adds up.
Yeah, and especially if you like something, you want to collect it in the best version of that.
Yeah, and that's...
I don't like doing individual comics.
Right,
I like the graphic novels or the fucking omnibus where they just, like, jump together a whole bunch. Like, I have that for Why the Last Man. Like, I have, like, the 5 volumes of
Is that the
everything.
full... That's the full thing,
right?
That's
the series.
Yeah. Have you read it all?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
dense. I haven't read it in a long time. We'll do it later.
We'll do one.
Yeah. We'll do a book.
Brian K. Vaughan, yeah. So, but anyways, back to this. So they're falling out the windows, and they're just people are like, these guys I don't know who these guys are, but they suck.
Yeah. Well,
Right,
they
just
don't know what's going on, right? Like, they're just crashing and destroying public property.
Yeah.
One looks like a superhero, one looks like a guy with really cool glasses.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, even from the cover, you're like, Quantum's full costume with the cape and the mask, and Woody's just got some sunglasses and like a blue suit. And you're like, why?
One's ready for the job, and one's just like,
And
I'm ready for a job. I just don't know if it's this job.
And they actually explain why that happens later on. And
Which is nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And then we instantly get flashback to kind of who these characters are as formidable, like, young men in their adolescence.
Yeah.
Because this is really going to define who they've become as adults.
Right. So so they fall out the window. They're fighting on the way down.
Looks like Obama there.
Yeah. And they flash back to when they were in high school and they were in trouble for fighting. So these guys. So you've already got like two different scenes, one in the present, one in the past, and these guys like to fight each other.
And it doesn't matter, but it does. One's black, one's white.
Right.
Which
yeah.
we have not said.
I don't think we've
Look at us
mentioned that.
not looking at color. How dare you ignore color at Coke?
Yeah, being colorblind is just as bad as being racist, right?
Something like that.
So,
Don't ignore me, but don't just pick me
acknowledge who I am.
Yeah, there's a fine line.
Yeah.
Don't do what you want to do. Do what I
Don't
want you to.
pretend I'm nothing.
Don't do what Donnie Doe does. That's all you have to remember. You're fine in the
You
world.
go to be kidding me.
Stop going there. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna get the laugh you want.
I just like imagine.
Cause you hit like 10 goat jokes, and I'm a goat fan already, and then you just fucking bad all over the shit. Here's a can. Chew on this. So they flash back to how they were getting beaten up and sent to obviously the principal's office for getting in fights.
Right, and we'll do this back and forth because they do this throughout the comic. They show a lot of like 1 or 2 page flashbacks. It's like quick, so yeah, them in high school getting fought,
And then understanding who they are, right?
Yeah.
So Woody's always the one to fall into trouble, and Quantum's not his name, but
he's more of a straight arrow.
what's his actual name?
Eric.
Is Eric.
I drew a blank. I was like,
Eric the Red. Eric is the one that's always kind of following up and trying to clean up the mess. Eric is the actual biological son of their
dad,
father, who is a renowned scientist.
Yeah. And they adopt Woody, but so from the flashback scene they go to the dad.
And no mother.
No, she's never present.
Yeah,
Is she?
which is important to kind of their character development.
And then goes to the dad, and he's just packing his shit. Like he's sitting at a computer, he's transferring files,
Right.
and he's trying to get out. They don't say he's his dad, but they got the picture of them on
You get
together
it.
on the desk.
There's enough.
Yeah, you get it.
With comics, there's enough visuals that you can pick up the things that words don't say, which is a great medium, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's awesome. And so he runs. He's running away after transferring the files. He bumps into a dude with the fucking Soviet
Casting
symbol on his
alert.
face.
This
Yeah.
is
Gerard Butler.
damn you! Beat me straight to the punch.
100%.
100% Gerard Butler. So when we cast the movie, he's goon number 1. This is your first kind of view of the villain that eventually Quantum and Wooly will be kind of running into,
Wooly.
which I think is a better name. He'll be my first favorite Wooly, third favorite Woody, maybe fourth, because I like my erections. So we see the first villain here, but we only get a sneak peek of who she really is.
Yeah.
And why that their father is kind of trying to get away. You get the feeling that the villain wants something that the scientist has,
yeah. So
and he knows it.
yeah. So you kind of get the idea. Yeah. You see the villain with the headpiece on after Gerard Butler kills the dad.
Right.
Soviet Union Gerard Butler. Sorry, kills the dad and then tells her it's done.
Gerard's not from like North America though.
No, he's Scottish.
Something like that. It's all Soviet. Once you cross,
around the
once you cross the water,
water,
it's all Soviet. Okay. Cold War to my ass. It never ended. Then we flash back up into more like current times where
Well, that was current as well, but
Fair
yeah,
enough,
like the
yeah.
next day you could say, I guess.
in terms of the boys, you get to see how they've become men
Right.
and how their lives have evolved kind of without each other.
Yeah.
Because there's a certain point that obviously the comic reveals where they went separate ways.
So Eric, aka Quantum, is working out early in the morning.
He's a military man.
He's ex-military. He's a security guard now, but he goes to the cafe to get a drink.
Real Boy Scout.
Get some coffee. Yeah, he's an acid boy, and he sees this guy come in and kind of like strong arm the waitress a little bit, like
Not
stick
even
'em
like
up, lady.
yeah, just like
Stick 'em up, lady.
like play with her, like it
Yeah.
looks like he's like patting her ass, which would be if that was a stranger, yes.
Yeah.
There's a call to action, but
But he didn't even wait to see. He just jumped right in, hit the guy, and smashed the salt shaker on the guy's head.
He smashed glass on his face.
And then tasers him.
This is your first interaction with dude, and you smash glass on his face, and then put him in like a chokehold, and then pin him to the ground.
The waitress is like, he's my boyfriend, you idiot.
And that voice, you use that voice for a lot of things. You've already used it twice. And he's an idiot. So Eric feels like an idiot. Obviously, leaves, but you already get the impression there that like he's quick to action, but maybe not always smart to understand the surroundings that he's jumping himself into.
Yeah, a little too overzealous.
Correct.
That's the word I'm looking for. Then he gets a phone call that his old man is passed on, right?
Right.
You jump to New York City where Woody is in bed with...
Woody's life.
You get the stark difference between the two of them.
And yet, like, striking similarities, too, because I feel like Woody's someone that jumps straight into a scenario, too, right? Yep. Like, for different reasons. For as much as they butt heads and you would think they're polar opposites, they're really a lot alike. Yeah. And that this comic, like, slowly peels back that layer, which is something I enjoyed.
Yeah, so he's in bed with... a
hot chick.
A sweet redhead.
Got some Hawkeye action there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar. He actually looks like him, too.
And then he jumps out the window and starts
down the fire escape, yeah. And you find out, like, they were staying at a hotel and the credit card he used was fake.
He's very much a 2-bit hustler. He reminds me of Dodger from Oliver and Company. Like, the dog that just kind of... Yeah. Hustler, like, I know the streets more than the streets know me. I have to hustle to stay alive. I'll always find, like, the quick buck, the free meal, the easy lay, and be on my way.
So he duped the hotel and her.
Yes. Easily. With a smile. No remorse.
He's out the window.
Smiling. And then out to hustle more people, because he ends up in the park, where he starts going back and forth with...
Oh, he owes Pete money, right?
Okay.
There's some guy named Pete.
And instead of giving Pete money that he has earned, he
steals the money.
He steals it from some other schmuck. So he's definitely a grifter. Yeah. But he's quick to find trouble being a grifter, right? That life can only last you so long.
It's funny, because he's based off of Woody Harrelson, and his name is Woody Henderson. So, right, his full name.
What, like, in the movie White Man Can't Jump, Woody's less of a hustler than Wesley Snipes' character.
I don't.
And there's no, goddamn, I forgot her name, and I'm terrible for that.
Color your skin doesn't matter, man.
I know, but she's gorgeous.
What? No, I meant for these two, maybe.
No, I'm thinking of...
he's based on Wesley Snipes. And Eric is based on Woody Harrelson.
Do you think so?
No, I don't.
Did you fake attempt to push up your glasses? Rosie Perez. There's no Rosie Perez yet, so I'm waiting for that love interest to come in.
Yeah, she doesn't show up.
Because for that movie, that was one of the pivotal things, right? Like, that's what kept Woody from not being a complete hustler, because he had a girl who's like, you had to provide for her. She's not going to let you be a 2-bit hustler. You have to rise to her level. And then she becomes rich on Jeopardy. I guess we're talking about
White Man
Can't Jump.
Let's just get rid of it. No, he steals some money, pays off a duty he owes. Then the Rollies coming like...
Duty owes.
That's funny, eh? Fuck, that's good.
I wrote it down.
Good. Yeah, the Rollies coming like when you talk to him, he's like, shit, what I do. Like, no, your father died.
Yeah.
Right? So, just FYI. So he thought he was in trouble, but it turns out that not so much.
His life's in trouble.
Right.
Cut 2.
The funeral where they...
Cut 2.
Yeah, cut 2.
Cut 2. I'm in the lake. Turn the car in the lake. You ever seen Wanderlust?
No.
Oh, God. All right. Anyway, sorry.
I was laughing because that looked funny.
There's this one line that he's like, cut 2 in a lake. Anyway, we'll get there. So they're at the funeral. Obviously, Eric's all dressed up in his military garb. Was there early on time for this funeral procession, standing at attention. And Woody comes in like half-assed.
Just rattled, eh?
Already screaming from like tombstones away, ready to start a fight with his brother. Yeah. It's like, it's not the time or place, but clearly they can get into it.
But he's like, weren't you going to call me? I found out about this funeral like last minute.
Which is a fair gripe.
Yeah, of course.
If you find out your father dies, you kind of want to hear from family first. You assume, right?
And he's always kind of like, you know what? I didn't fucking do it. Because I guess, but they haven't, you learn here they haven't talked in years.
Right.
So he's like, well, I just assumed you were dead because you're so reckless.
Right. And they just kind of stopped caring about each other. Once they were out of each other's life, there was no need to worry about each other.
Yeah.
When they were forced to be together, they were constantly kind of either bickering or watching out for each other, which is an easy brother dynamic to kind of pick up for.
Yeah, and you kind of get the sense of the idea like this. Something there was a huge fallout because I don't know how you grow up with somebody and they hate like they're throwing daggers at this funeral because he's Woody's like you didn't tell me about our dad and he's like he's not our dad, he's my dad.
Right.
And,
keep in mind,
right?
there are only so many places that you can really throw these daggers.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, funerals, all out, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We could be blood for years. I'm coming for the jugular.
Yeah.
So like, this is kind of the only time that you could get away with this. But obviously, there's repercussions because Eric doesn't play, Woody doesn't play, and a fight breaks out.
Yeah.
As the father is being lowered into the ground.
So they start fighting again. So now we're like 10 pages into this, and they've fought 3 times.
As brothers would.
As brothers would.
But at a funeral down onto like a casket.
Yeah, they even hit the casket. The
knocking
like,
it over.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Jesus Christ! I know, Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
Yeah, the priest is Mr. Slave, apparently. They get locked up. They get thrown into not to prison, into jail for a bit because they're
holding.
Yeah,
disrupting.
Right.
Yeah. Disorderly conduct. Disturbing
Menace
the
to
peace.
society.
Maybe that's the Rosie Perez.
Yeah, this is Detective. How do you say that? Quejedo.
Yeah. Don't.
Quejedo.
Soft J.
Quejudo. There it is.
You weren't even close.
I'm sorry.
So she's grilling both of them about
Yeah.
what's wrong with them. Essentially, like why are you doing what you're doing, and they're just trying to.
Because like, do you guys know each other? You guys like so from outside looking in, a dude shows up at a funeral, fights another dude.
Yeah.
Right. They don't know
That look different. That are different colors. That's the real. That's the underlining thing. You pick it up when you can see that the fact one is painted black and one is painted white. But us telling you across, obviously, they don't look like brothers.
No, especially when they're throwing fists as soon as they see each other.
They act like brothers though.
They do, and so this is kind of where the comic starts to take a turn. It's kind of like Woody's like, I don't think Dad died. Someone killed him.
Right.
And okay, he's kind of like, you're insane. I don't know what you're talking about. And they kind of his whole based on the cops bringing them in and talking to them like they're suspects. And he's kind of like, why are they talking to us like we're suspects?
Right.
If he just passed away, like they know something we don't.
Yeah, and
so we gotta figure out what happened.
They're asking a lot more questions about their father, which you would assume,
yes,
would be less questioning after like he passed on. So you're just assuming we brought you in to talk about why you guys disrupted the funeral, not so much to ask what happened with your father. Well, obviously they weren't there, but from the police side, the questioning kind of triggers Woody to be like, something's up here. I don't believe anything that they're telling me. Eric is still heated and is like, I've had enough of you.
Yeah.
Let me get the fuck out of here.
He's like, I want to go to the lab and check things out, and they kind of get into a bit of a pushing match, and Eric takes off, and Woody's like, all right, well, fuck, I'll do it myself then, right?
Well, I guess Woody gives Eric the idea, but they both end up deciding that they want to go to the lab to answer more questions that they don't have answers for.
Yeah.
Then we get another flashback, which really helps kind of pace throughout the comic.
Yeah, another one of those short, like, single-page ones, yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy to jump to another scene with the characters in current day if you give them a quick flashback to where they are and where they're coming up as children.
And it's just like, oh, it's kind of, the whole basis of it was kind of like, oh, we're family now. So it's like, you know, Woody started the fight at school. He's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter who started it. We're family. So
you gotta look out for each other.
Yeah, we're together on this. Woody shows up at the quantum laboratory.
Right.
And actually, like, chloroforms one of the guards.
Yeah, Woody has a very strong arm ways of getting things done.
Yeah, the security guard lets him in. And
he shows up in a stolen car. Security guy's like, I remember you. And he's like, sure, come on in. And still chloroforms him, but doesn't really work out. Like he didn't fully soak the ray.
Actually chloroform.
So he just looks like a schmuck.
Yeah.
And then is kind of saved the fact that his brother saves his ass again.
Yeah.
Who's already there and tases him. And drags the security guard into the...
And this is to say, while this is going on, there is a frame where when Woody pulls up, the detective Kahuda is following them.
Right.
So she's actually following Woody because she's like, this guy's wild. I'm gonna see what happens with him.
Great detective work, by the way.
Yeah. They're in the lab together, so they knock out the guard and they hit up their dad's office, right? And they're going through some shit, and they kind of find data sticks, like USB sticks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Data sticks.
What the fuck am I, 1985?
Unless it's cyclical.
Yeah.
You are listening to this
They
in
find-
2025. Did you guys get that
They
new
find a floppy disk.
16 gigabyte data stick? Oh, man.
They find a floppy drive.
Who'd have thought Bell and Rogers would unite and form a conglomerate where they just give out data sticks? Zigabytes. You guys get that Zigabyte?
Yeah, I need some more. You got any more of them Zigabyte?
Everything's just reboot.
There was Gigabyte reboot.
Yeah.
No Zigabyte.
Well, the reboot. Have you seen the reboot?
No.
I'm helping you. Goddamn, Eric. Wait. Yeah. No,
he's way too much of a straight shooter.
I'm Eric.
He's too straight for either one of us.
What?
That's so bad. So bad.
You forget we're on radio.
Damn it.
Oh, I'm dating myself. Radio? What's a radio?
Yeah. on air. But you know the on air sign? Like it's hanging from... Applause.
We're never gonna finish this goddamn comic book.
No.
So they're in the lab. They find some notes. They find some pictures. But
they find the USB sticks like behind the picture,
right.
personal part. And then Woody kind of gets into this
big machine.
Star Trek nerd's wet dream.
Or it kind of reminds me of, if you ever saw Watchmen, it's like the Dr. Manhattan kind of booth thing.
Yeah, what he got locked up in.
So anytime there's a giant room where like it has a sealed door and there's all these kind of crazy tubes, I, in my brain, would not go in that room. These characters are not the same.
Right.
And they walk right in.
They get into a fight.
Door slams behind them. Yep.
They press a button during the fight.
Lights start to go off. Things start to go. You be hearing that zapping sound.
Yeah.
And the electricity. And they run to go put on a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
But there's only one.
So
they start fighting each other to get in.
And they just tear it in half. And
They're so dysfunctional.
They get fried and blow up.
Yeah, the whole lab explodes. Yeah. Like, cut to the shot of like a panoramic view of like just light and I guess sound like frying through of like how much got destroyed.
Yeah,
End of comic one.
Yeah, end of comic one, and that through the rubble, the detective comes back with some reinforcements, like stack them up, you jerks, you.
That's what we were waiting for. You had like 13 tries to say you, and all you come up with jerk. That would have been perfect time for a goat pun, but no.
Jerk, no.
You had me on the wire.
You don't want any more goats.
You jerk. If that's not a tag, I don't know what is.
You jerk, you.
We're gonna call our fans you jerks.
You jerk. Issue 2 opens up with Woody making a video about the death of their father.
Right.
And Eric's like, "What are you doing putting this on?"
So they look unfazed from a giant explosion that just happened a panel ago. But here we are in comic world.
So So they have the one panel of him making the video, kind of outing everything.
Right. With Eric in the background, being like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, well, you're nuts. And then it switches right back to...
He kind of looks like he's trying to be the Dos Equis man of like the world's coolest dude.
Yeah.
He's in a row. He's got a drink.
Interesting man, yeah.
He's got a shelf of library books behind him. Not library books, just like a library behind him, so he looks smarter.
Yes, yeah.
But you see, like, Eric's just walking around like, what are you doing? So,
Bro.
like completely negates like any type of smarts or coolness that he has, as a brother would do.
It goes back to them. The explosion left them naked, by the way,
yes.
And they each have a brace on an arm. So Woody has one on his right, Eric has one on his left, like a gold brace.
Right. Think Wonder Woman couple.
Yeah.
They each got one, but we don't know if they're bulletproof. Actually, we don't know what they do. And we don't know why they're naked and unharmed, but there's still a lot of like blue lights and electricity are floating around them. So whatever's happened, this is essentially their origin story. So whatever cool thing that they're gonna have in the next few pages just happened, and these braces are a part of it.
When Woody's trying to get...
This crazy black man is a Muslim fundamentalist who tried to blow up our godless white science.
that's Woody trying to get out of...
That's him trying to calm down the cops who have them guns on them.
At gunpoint, yeah.
At gunpoint, that's the word. We can't speak today.
Yeah.
You
jerk, you.
So yeah, they're trying to get themselves out of a sticky situation. Obviously, cops want to know what the fuck just happened, and they don't even know what the fuck just happened, and they're still naked.
And the cops are going, what? And then they get into because Woody's trying to throw Eric
under the bus. They instantly get into a fight because they're brothers.
And the cops actually put their guns down like, these guys are
stupid
losers.
Still naked, so Yeah,
you're fighting
pick your battles.
You're fighting your brother naked, and during the fight, Woody kind of lets out this like blast from his arm with the brace on it, and blows up a cop car, and they're all like, everybody's like, holy shit!
So guns are up now, and now they start firing. Now they're back to looking like threats.
And this is when they run around behind like this piece of debris,
right?
Quantum or Eric and Woody. And Eric grabs him by the arms, like, "What are you doing?" And he like brings him close.
Right.
And they're like face to face, and then he's chewing him out, and he realizes that they're like dick to dick.
Their dicks are touching.
They just stop.
There's no line of dialogue that's like our dicks are touching. They're just you see them pull in, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Then the next panel is them looking down to obviously where their members would be. No meeting.
Word bubbles like, "Oh shit!"
And then they just throw each other out, and like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here because cops are still firing shots at them.
Yeah, and then they're trying to figure out how he used it to blast.
Right.
So he's kind of like, all I did was just kind of do this, and then he blows up another cop car.
He basically keeps jerking his arm back and forth, and boom, boom, boom. Even more powers come flying. They also touch them gingerly.
Yeah.
Not their penises.
Not their penises, the braces.
And again, more cosmic quantum powers start to fly off, so we know that whatever they have going on is definitely... bracelet related.
They're linked, right? And then you figure out that Eric he's got a power as well. It's more of a shield though.
Right.
So when the cops
one's offense, one's defense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you come to find out. Oh, okay. So Woody's all offense and Quantum is more defense. So the cop shoots at him and he pulls up his brace and he
gets a little force field and the bullets ricochet off of it.
And they're like, oh, this is
again still naked.
Pretty fucking cool. Even though Eric does end up he takes a bullet in the side, like it skims him.
I wonder why Eric of all the characters would have got shot and hit, but
that's pretty obvious.
And he has the defensive power, but still, nope, bullet hits you.
Yeah, but lets his guard down, right?
I mean.
And they end up skating away. The detective is rattled
somehow.
Yeah, they jump into.
There's literally no way they should have got out of that scenario.
They shouldn't have.
And they're naked. It needs to be underlined. Flashback
to when Woody was a kid and he's getting chewed out by his dad, and he's like, his dad's giving him shit for something. And he's like, "Well, just hit me already." And the dad's like,
"What's wrong with you?
Whoa,
we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
So we don't know where you came from."
So he ends up giving him a hug, right?
Which Woody's not expecting either.
Yeah,
he's like, "Whoa, I don't know how to do this either."
So clearly, you see his real dad or his biological dad
was abusive, or whoever he was with. Yeah,
that's right, foster homes. He was bounced around foster homes, so he was getting beat up.
And an easy reason to see why he acts out so much is because no one ever kind of loved him.
Yeah.
This is the first man or father figure in his life that took the time to be like, there's a better way that we can relate. And you see that you get all that in just one panel.
Right. And so then we jump back to the bookshelves.
Right.
So right after the video
the most interesting man.
Yeah.
They found clothes. Not much, but they found clothes.
They found some clothes. They're talking to each other about their dad's death right after filming the video, right? And they're kind of like, well, this USB we have is only partial, right?
No, that's an error, but one of the panels doesn't have Eric with his gauntlet or bracelet on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I know you think to get off.
So they can take them off.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that was like locked off.
Like just sealed there?
Yeah. I think that would
I didn't notice that, because Wiz got his on, but Eric took his off. But they kind of figure out these USB sticks they're not complete. There's got to be more, right? So...
Data sticks.
Yeah, data sticks, yeah. They end up getting a message from their dad.
A heartfelt message, too.
Yeah.
Talking about, like, trying to bring them together and the dangers of what his work will eventually bring to his doorstep.
Yeah.
So he kind of foresaw kind of his demise based on what he was working on.
Specifically a company or an organization called the ERA.
Do we know what this acronym stands for at this current
moment?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But we will.
Yeah, you find out about it.
So there's a second kind of view into who's inevitably going to be the big villain for Quantum and Woody.
Yeah.
Because we got a taste with Gerard Butler in like the first issue. This is the first drop of a name, so now we're getting little breadcrumbs of what we're fighting for and what's going to come looking for us essentially.
So they're kind of like, all right, we got to
think of something.
We got to think of something here. Yeah, there's a company. So there's an organization that we're pretty sure killed our dad.
Right.
He left these breadcrumbs for us. Now we have these powers.
So now they're really going to be looking for us.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have cops after us too.
So Woody has some bright idea, he says. That's kind of how it ends. He's like, don't worry, we can figure this out. I've got an idea. They jump to the villains again that we haven't seen since the early issues.
Yeah, so the first couple of pages. But now we get a good look into the ERA, the other side.
Right.
And what's actually going to be coming for Quantum and Woody. And I found like these panels to be the most interesting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is where you got it. Because the fact of the way that they built the villains and the type of villains that are going to come after them, this was way more in depth. Like, it seemed like they had the villains first and then kind of worked to Quantum and Woody.
Yeah.
Or not even they had them first. It's just like, it seemed like they took a lot of time to figure out, this is what I want this villain to be. This is what I want this villain
absolutely.
to be.
Yeah, the villains have a lot. They're
the most detailed,
And they kind of
all the characters.
They only give me teasers. There's some weird looking woman getting like operated on,
which is great because to peel back to give us all of this like up front wouldn't have done justice for kind of the weirdness of what we're going to get. So as you were saying, I'm saying they're peeling back the layers, and as you were saying, they're peeling back
her chest. Yeah,
as she kind of like repairs herself, she makes herself younger.
And she's kind of just like, you know what? Give me his research or bring me his sons.
Right.
That's
the
she's
ultimatum.
talking to her lackeys, right?
She's talking to Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler, the Soviet Union Gerard Butler, and the guy on the screen. There's
these guys, the brothers.
Yeah, they end up being brothers as well. So the ones that she was talking on the screen, you jump to him and they're strong arming the director of Quantum Laboratories.
Right.
So Derek Henderson, so their dad's boss.
Right.
Johnny 1 and Johnny 2.
Original names.
Yeah.
But works.
So one's a tall dude.
I hope they get to Johnny 5 because then you get to make that joke.
That would be good, eh?
Short circuit.
Short circuit.
Yeah.
Input. Need input.
Johnny 5 no. And the racism of that movie, brown facing.
Fell in the mud.
No, the male lead in that was a white guy, but they painted him brown to be Indian. He's not Indian at all.
Oh, I fucking realized that. I haven't seen that since a kid.
Yeah, it was good until you're like, wait a minute, brown facing.
Curly hair. I thought he was just a white guy.
He's not actually brown. We'll go.
Okay. Well, that's deep dive.
They painted him brown.
Man, I just since I was like 7 or 8.
I gotta pull up names now. Damn it. Anyway, keep talking about
Don't
Johnny.
pull up names.
Well, we gotta. We're going in now. People want to know what we're talking about. Johnny 1, normal human being.
He's just huge.
He's a man.
He's just huge.
Johnny 2
is this little weird looking guy in like a.
So it's like twins.
It almost looks like Robo-Duck's armor from.
Oh, Gizmo dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Gizmo
like
Duck, yeah.
it's like twins. So one's Arnold Schwarzenegger and one's Danny DeVito in a chair with like
IVs and
like can't
nasal
walk.
cannulas.
Yeah, he's so tiny that he can't do it properly.
And just on this one wheel, right?
Which is great. It's such a stark kind of opposition.
Oh yeah.
Which plays into the whole Quantum and Wally, Quantum and
Wally.
I'm gonna give every name except for Woody. He's not my favorite Woody. Because they also have a kind of contrast comparison when they're next to each other, right?
You're right.
You'll notice a lot of like kind of dualities and kind of balancing things. Johnny's are one of them as well.
As they're strong arming this guy to get research on Derek's research, Quantum shows up full costume.
This guy is a white guy, but they painted him brown for the movie. Fisher Stevens. I will show you pictures.
I didn't know that.
I'll show you. I gotta show you pictures now.
Oh, fuck off.
Gutenberg. There's
that's the one I was thinking of.
Gutenberg.
I didn't even realize that. When did you learn that?
Doesn't matter now. We know. We know what we've been doing.
Yeah, I was thinking of Gutenberg.
See, they only have one picture of him. They just keep showing Ali Sheedy, who was just good in this movie. That's how he normally looks.
Wow.
They made him look Indian.
He's
not Indian.
Fuck me. I guess that's what I get for not having seen this movie in like 20 years.
It was 1980 something.
Yeah, I loved it as a kid.
Yeah, it was great. And then we got Wally, which was basically a ripoff.
On this, right?
1986.
Yes, the year has more.
So you brought in this racism.
Yeah, I did.
His name was Ben Jabutia.
Fuck me, I did not know that.
I'm not gonna fuck you. You've said it a lot.
Oh, I'm heartbroken right now.
Are you?
A little bit.
Quantum and
he shows
Woogie.
up. He shows up and he's like, "You can't run from justice, men."
Yeah, he's fully decked out now. We don't know how, but
masks.
he's back to the kind of Boy Scout from the diner. Just breaks into the scenario, not really knowing what's going on. But
when then Woody kicks in the door, like, "Hey, fellas,
I got glasses in a suit."
and of course, as soon as he does that, Quantum's like, "Where's your costume?
It's like,
you're supposed to be in a costume."
He's like, "This is it."
And then they kind of flash back to Woody's idea that he left off on, right?
Eric should dress up like a superhero.
No, he was gonna both do it. He's like, we gotta dress up like superheroes.
Woody had another idea.
Excuse me. He was planning on wearing one, right?
I wonder what that is. I hope we at some point get to see
what the costume was?
The official. But he's like, nah. It was like, and honestly, that was a good audible. Yeah. If they both showed up like that, I just laugh at them.
No, exactly, yeah. But so Eric gets all suited up, and then he leaves first. Finds out that Woody stole a big case of guns. And weapons.
Just a huge chest of just
from
gas.
Eric's his workplace. And he's like, "How'd you get in there?" He goes, "Oh, I stole your card."
And he gets mad again.
Right? And he goes, how did you steal my card? I just,
Pretty easy.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. I just took it off you in the hospital. He's like, hey, you still got to get, like, with your cheek. Or no, what was it?
Eric breaks a wall. Or punches a wall. He's so angry at him. Woogie is always going to do things that Eric doesn't like. But it somehow works out for their benefit.
Yeah, but
it keeps progressing both of them through the plot and to get to a better spot that they can work together.
So they jump back. So they jump forward. But they jump back to when Quantum and Woody show up for the first time against the two Johnnies. Woody's trying to describe why he didn't wear his costume, right? And he goes, yeah, sorry, but, I saw my reflection in the elevator door on the way up. You were right. Those costumes look gay. He's kind of like, oh, yeah, I didn't mean gay in a derogatory way. I literally looked like my friend Gay Dave. So they're bickering like this while the other two are like,
trying to figure out
what's going on. And Quantum's like, listen, I'm sorry. You guys make a lovely couple.
Right.
He's like, we're twins!
He's like, well,
Right, thinking like Woody offended them with the gay joke.
So it's a fun kind of in-joke with the writer and the audience, because he's not using gay as a derogatory term. Yeah. He's more explaining, no, I have a weird friend, a weird-looking friend.
He used to dress, Gay Dave, he used to drink.
And then turns it on to the villains who are like, oh, well, you guys are gay.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. They're like, no, we're not gay.
Yeah.
We're brothers.
And he's like, oh, incest.
I mean, he just goes, ew. Like, he's got the ew face too. Just goes off the rails of, like, how to annoy a villain.
Yeah.
This is 101.
Yeah, Woody's like, incest.
And Wanda's the best at it.
I saw you thinking about that for a second. You're like,
I need another one. I keep going back to Wooly.
So they start fighting. Well, I mean,
if you call it a fight,
Johnny 1 starts fighting.
Right. Who has workable legs.
Quantum just takes Johnny 2 out of his wheelchair.
And just chucks him over the window. Yeah, like he's really gonna throw him out the window.
He just
He looks like Mini-Me. He's even got the Mini-Me jumpsuit.
He does have the jumpsuit on. Yeah, shit. And Quantum's like, don't terrorize cripples.
He's like, I'm not a cripple.
They throw him back in, and he hits this switch, and the director they were strong arming all of a sudden starts to puke out this
weird thing.
Yeah.
So if you didn't think this comic book could make another turn, here's where it makes a distinct turn of like, this is not what you thought it was, and it's never going to be what you think it's going to be.
No, it gets really weird.
Because out of this director's mouth comes
Mr. Soulcam, that's his name, Soulcam.
This snake clown monster, like legit mutates from his throat and expands, so like he's no longer alive because whatever was in him is now. Like, it's a thing of nightmares, and they talk about, like, oh my gosh, this is actually my nightmare.
Yeah, the Nightmare Brigade.
It's like a snake, clown, spider, crustacean?
Yeah, all mixed up together.
And obviously all bloody because it just expanded out of a fucking human person.
Yeah. And then more...
It's one of the, not grossest,
but... It's weird.
Definitely
cool,
distinct.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this in a comic, so we kept reading.
Yeah, and they bust in through, others bust in through the door.
Right.
So now they have to face off with like a half dozen of them. And they call it the Nightmare Brigade.
Yeah. End of number 3.
Yeah, so they're...
I do like that the last... Is it...
that was 2.
Is the cover... Oh, that was 2? Yeah, I like the cover of 3 is Woody...
He's holding him?
Yeah, Woody jumping into Quantum's arms, just screaming.
Like,
in fear.
Yeah, and then the fucking...
Oh, he's got the shell toes? Yeah, he picked the right 2. Scroll down. Look at
this. He does, yeah.
Run, DMC.
And it picks up from where the last issue left off, and that's them with the fighting the Nightmare Brigade. Well, Woody takes off.
Yeah, he's had enough of that.
He's like, I'm out.
For as much flack as he gets, he makes all of the real life decisions.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not sticking it out. This is not what I signed up for hero school. And these snake monsters still mutate. Like, they turn into Venus flytraps
and have needles in their mouths.
It's
right?
so gross. I would hate to see this as a movie because it would freak me out for a little bit.
Because they're talking about, like, what are these things? And the Johnnies are like, well, they're nightmare creatures made out of, like, spiders, clowns, and needles. Right? And he's like, needles? I don't see needles. And that's when, right, as you were saying, the mouths open up.
Open up. And just expand into, like, these weird Venus flytraps.
Fucking Woody does,
starfish.
Like, the token slap. He's like, I'm out.
He's out of here.
I'm out.
Yep.
I'm done. And this is where they kind of, I don't know why I keep saying they kind of. They get into a fight with them, and he's trying to zap them.
Using gauntlets, bracelets.
Using his bracelet, and they end up jumping at the window.
Which is kind of how the whole story started.
Which is where...
We're catching up to the beginning.
Right.
Finally. Before that, we get another flashback between Father, Eric, and Woody.
Derek's the dad.
Derek, Eric, and Wooly. Woogie. Mooney.
This one's really cool. This one's my favorite of the
Whoopee.
flashbacks because it links to a future one.
Woo me. He's just ignoring me now.
I am. You're just doing your thing. This is my favorite because it's Eric doing his homework.
Mm-hmm.
The father Derek is like,
we're going fishing.
He's taking Woody out fishing,
right?
And not Eric. And Eric's like, why are you taking him fishing?
I get straight A's. I get good grades.
Yeah, I'm the
good son.
He's hot wiring cars,
Yeah.
and he's like, because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Do your work, and I'll be back. So Eric's pissed off because he's going out, right? And it's just the 1-page flashback.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting too, and it connects to another one later on. That's why I like it. But
well, if there's any flashback scene that sets up who they are as characters, it's kind of this one.
Yeah.
At least Eric for sure.
Yeah.
Because Eric has always been by the book and doing things that he knows his father wants him to do with no reward. Even though he wants that kind of validation from his father, he never got it.
Yeah.
Woody always got it.
Yeah.
So Woody became kind of...
even when he didn't deserve it?
Yeah.
Or in Eric's mind, he didn't deserve it, right?
Woody became this kind of viewpoint of, like, you're spoiled. You got a father that's not even yours. And I'm stuck here not getting the father who's actually mine.
Yeah.
There's
perfectly said,
there's a lot of resentment just in that.
Because they're not seeing the whole picture, and
Nope.
they wouldn't at that age. They're young. So.
But like Derek's not giving him the full picture either.
No, he's
like,
not.
How
He's
easy
being
is it to
cryptic.
go have a conversation with little Eric and be like, hey man, like your adopted brother's a little fucked up, so I gotta kind of give him not special treatment, just more time to
just a little
fucking
different type of
get back on the straight path. I trust you. I know you're gonna be good, and we'll have moments like this later.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
But
so
he
many
doesn't do
times.
that, yeah.
There's so many times where parents can just sit down and treat their children like adults and have conversations that would probably help them later on in life.
Rather than just have them bottle up anger and.
It does not happen in this
No.
comic, but again, it leads to more kind of richer experiences between both Woogie and
Woogie, I like that one, Woogie.
Quantum.
So
I'm running out of W names, by the way.
I got a good one you haven't used yet.
Fair enough. Waldo.
No, different one. So it's back to them coming out the window. They try and use Quantum's force field for a soft landing. It kind of works.
They don't die.
But yeah, they don't die. Yeah.
They're hurt, but they don't die.
The shield pops.
But now the audience is finally caught up with the first scene. We're now back. Everyone's on the same timeline.
Yeah.
We're no longer in flashback.
Right,
we get to see how these guys are progressing through how we first met them.
Right, and they take off.
Yeah, they hit the ground running. They hit the ground. Now they're running.
Yeah, now they're running, and the cops are chasing them because, they just fucking fell off a window.
Yeah, and they're dressed like whoever you're dressed like.
Yeah.
You're a person of interest.
Woody pays off a homeless person to tell them that they went
That away.
a different way.
We're pointing that away. If you guys can't see it, we're pointing that
away.
Not this way.
That away.
That away. You go this way, I go that way. You go this way, I go that way. You go this way, I go that way. Ladies and gentlemen, Rush Hour 2.
The Johnny brothers escape, and Quantum and Woody go back to...
What are their last names? We gotta call them the something
The
brothers.
Johnnies?
No, the
Hendersons.
Henderson brothers go the other way. They escape too.
And they go back to their base of operations.
Which is somebody's hotel or home.
They have a funny conversation in here.
Yeah, but you don't sound black. Oh,
That's
because
what it was, the black thing. Yeah.
Because the homeless man said something to the regards of like,
Oh, that's right.
thanks,
Yes.
brother, for the cape. And
He's like,
Eric's like, how does he know that I'm black?
I have
I
a
was
mask
wearing a
on,
mask on.
yeah.
Is Quanti saying that he doesn't sound black?
Yeah.
Isn't it basically like he saw his hands?
No,
Like that's the punchline of
Well,
it?
no, he goes, yeah, it is, but he doesn't say. He goes, I was wearing a mask. He goes, yeah, but you sound black.
Okay, there you go.
He goes, I don't talk black.
So you know, you sound it.
He's like, first of all, you act like that's a bad thing. You racist. Secondly, I mean, your voice sounds black.
Like Panthro from Thundercats, which was kind of spot on because if you didn't think Panthro was black, then I don't know what Thundercats you were watching. He was definitely the blackest
He
one
was
of
a cat
them.
person, but even as a kid, you could tell by the voice he was totally a black guy.
Yeah, pretty much. And he was played by. Oh, no, I gotta pull up the actor's name because he was badass too.
Yeah, Quantum's just like, I'm in no mood for this racist shit, right? He's like, it's not racist, it's just how it is, right? And it was totally the hardest part of me impersonating you. And he goes, wait,
you impersonated me?
Wait, you
Yeah,
impersonated
so
me.
there's a pullback to.
He's like, you didn't say I impersonated me. He's like, well, back when I told you, I went to your base of operations with your key card. He goes, no, wait, the hardest part was definitely the makeup, right? it wasn't the talking like you. It was the makeup that was the hardest.
This
part.
is probably the best frame that we've seen in this comic because we spent a good 3 days just sending back and forth. Eric's
screenshot
face,
of Eric's face, yeah.
Eric's face is like, what?
He goes,
and just zooming in.
makeup?
What?
And he goes, you wore blackface? And Woody's so like, He's so
nonchalant about being in blackface.
He's like, no, it was
a disguise.
Yeah, it was just to match your skin. It was just to match your skin complexion.
Yeah,
it wasn't a blackface.
Just like Johnny Five.
He's like, that's black. He's like, no, it's shoe polish.
Oh my gosh.
He's just so like ignorant. He's kind of like, you know what, fuck
or
you.
He's more or less matter of fact. Like,
yeah,
his heart wasn't in the wrong place, even though his head.
It's almost like innocence, right? It's almost like.
I wouldn't say it's innocent. It's just like
down that path. It's kind of like he doesn't even understand. He's like, whatever.
He's like, you're looking at it at a racist point. I'm not.
Yeah.
So you're more racist about thinking that I would be wearing blackface than me. Just like I'm just trying to disguise myself
so I can get this.
So I can get this, right? Yeah. Earl Hyman is the man that played Panther, and you'll remember him. He's the grandfather from the Cosby Show. We won't say anything else about them.
No, we're not gonna go there. So they kind of...
Although, his name was Dr. Huxtable, and it was still called The Cosby Show. Does not make sense. He's a Wookiee. Lives on the planet Endor. He's using the Wookiee defense. He's using the Wookiee defense. So clearly these guys are dysfunctional, but they know how to work because they're so...
Well, they can do fighting again, so...
Well, they're so blind to each other that even their frustration just leads to more fireworks, and that's essentially what happens. They're mad, and then they end up exploding their safe house.
Yep.
That's all off of blackface?
Yep. Yeah, off the blackface argument, yeah.
Again, I still don't think they're the world's worst superhero, but they're definitely not the best.
They're just not cohesive.
They're on different pages.
Yeah.
Better than Batman featuring anyone. They literally have to be a team to work the two cufflinks together.
Yeah. There's a quick flashback of Eric in a lab as a kid, and he's just kind of bitching to himself about, well, if Dad would rather spend time with Woody, then,
this is what I'll do. I'll be a crazy scientist like my dad, and I'll make him pay attention to me.
Cookbook.
So he's looking to act out, and obviously
blows up the lab.
Doesn't work out for him. Yeah. These guys get exploded a lot without a scratch.
They blow a lot of shit up, yeah.
We go back to Detective.
Yeah, and they catch the homeless guy.
who's flying down the street in a shopping cart with
Quantum's
cape on, screaming.
I'm the king of the world!
Yeah, it's actually a pretty fun frame. Because he's all in silhouette, and you just kind of see...
The white cape.
The cape flying out. Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to call it a white cape. It's more blue.
Well, it's because it's all... Fuck off.
Coke seeing in colors. Or lack thereof. White is void of color.
And,
it's a hue.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, he gave him the cape to pay him off for helping them get away from the cops, right? And the detective was kind of like, what is going on? Like...
She doesn't know what to make of anything going on, but she knows she needs to find these two guys as soon as possible.
Right. And so she's raking her brain about them. Quantum and Woody have kind of split off. I keep saying kind of. I don't know why I can do that. They split off on their own, but they're still trying to find out...
The same information.
So Quantum ended up hotwiring a boat to go to an island.
Oh, so he's stealing a vehicle, much like his brother does.
Just like, because he put a tag in one of the Johnny's lab coats.
Right.
So he's following them.
He was staying on point.
The Boy Scout coming in handy, right?
Well, I mean.
Meanwhile, Woody gets a call from room service.
Yep. Still trying to figure out what's going on with the gauntlets.
Yeah. He's just kind of
playing around. Yeah.
And sees a sweet little thing.
Yeah. Nice little peephole shot of a pretty young girl in the front door. Pulls flowers from I don't know where. But...
just yanks flowers at him. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he gets hijacked by
a whole bunch of goon clones.
Goons and the detective. So
led by the detective. Yeah.
She's been working with the ERA.
The whole time.
Bum, bum, bum.
Finally, we get to go to the ERA where they've now kidnapped Woogie. Wooey?
Still haven't used Whoopi.
Whoopie? I did say Whoopi.
Oh, did you?
But you had stopped listening to you for that long time.
Oh, because you were just going the whoop when you're doing that.
What is his actual name?
What?
Woody,
yeah.
It's a terrible name.
Find out the ERA stands for Edison's Radical Acquisitions.
Which means...
Which is hilarious because they were... spin-offs of Thomas Edison's thoughts or whatever. What was it?
Yeah, they're like the followers of his science and his beliefs, but they took it to such an evil level. Unless this is them telling us that Thomas Edison was an evil man, but essentially they just took all of his kind of genius well before his time,
right, and
try to re-engineer it to future days. So you have a lot of kind of misfits that have taken it. Like, because we finally get the rogues gallery of villains that have assembled under this. I want to say Nazi, but that's only because I saw that flag with the skull and crossbones.
Oh, the Soviet Union.
It's not Nazis, but anytime you see red and like thunderbolts, you just go straight to.
And they're pretty funny. So you have the
Queen
lady
Bee,
that was being operated on earlier. She's in this she's hooked up to this chair with wheels.
Yeah.
With treads, not even wheels. You have the Johnnies.
She's like one of the the Reavers. What's the
tank guy.
Yeah. She's kind of like tank guy. Only
she
she's
has
not
legs.
half tank.
Yeah. You get the Johnny brothers. You get another dude with like a Beatles haircut.
You get the projector guy.
You get a guy. Which one?
There's a guy that's a half projector, half human.
Right. Yeah.
He's amazing.
No, but in this frame, anyway,
Okay,
he's
fair
not
enough.
there yet. But they got the guy in a spacesuit.
Like there's one shot
and then
of
another guy with like a cat with like 6 tails.
It's a round table of all these
weird guys that I want to know more about.
Yes,
I was like,
of all
please.
the villains, and then in the foreground is Woody hanging from the ceiling, trapped in whatever device they have him in.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a giant light bulb.
Yeah.
So they really even the logo. If you go back to the logo, it's a light bulb that they just turned into a skull scrotum.
Yeah, Thomas Edison. Yeah. Oh, this skull.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
And then the electric bolt, right?
Yeah.
That's the flint.
But I didn't notice that. Hey, Thomas Edison is light bulb, which is pretty.
Yeah, you haven't been reading.
I have.
You've been reading Wooly and Quaggle. They're
Wookiee and Quasar.
Yeah, they're Mexican B team.
And Quantum shows up at the island to finish off the issue, which is the fourth and final one.
So finally, we have everybody in the same
One
spot.
place,
Yeah, it's gonna be obviously we've made it to the climax, and just the cover of this.
Oh, you like that one with the mask?
The cover of this comic is kind of lets you know like this is gonna be the fun one, because it's Woody and Quantum looking in the background at the reader as a machine puts a skin face onto, I guess, Tread Lady.
That Tread Lady.
Yeah, with a whole bunch of clones behind Woody and Quantum. So
but they're about to lose their lunch. Like, gross.
yeah, this does not look like this is not for the weak of heart. Is it? Weak of stomach, whatever. We're here.
The faint of heart.
There you go.
Excuse me. And
Look at you, weak of stomach.
it opens with a flashback after the explosion in the lab that Eric set off with the Anarchist cookbook.
Right. Where he finally gets like some real love from his father.
Yeah.
And some attention. I was like, hey man, like don't do that
he's
shit.
like, thank God you're okay.
You're my son.
Yeah.
I love you. You're like, and Eric's like, finally the eye-opening moment of like, oh shit, he cares about me.
Yeah.
But in doing so, he realizes that now
Woody's gone.
Woody's gone. He's taken off.
He's like, where's Woody? He's like, I don't know. He's out. He's gone. He took his stuff and left.
Left a letter.
And then it goes back to Quantum breaking into the lab, and he ends up in like a room full of these monstrosities, like in lab jars and things like that.
Yeah, you can see more of these weird, snake clown head crustacean.
Yeah, because this
evolving.
These people, well, this main broad is all about cloning people.
Yep, and cloning things.
Cloning things. So he's in kind of like the rejected clones room.
Right.
And then
you get the propaganda video from, I think my favorite villain is half human, half
Projector Man.
Straight from like
his nipples.
He looks like if a Terminator only melted half of his body off. And
Betamax.
And it was just like the skeleton off half side, and then still like a human side. So it doesn't fit at all.
No, it doesn't make sense at all.
But it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's so like original. I've never thought of it.
Yeah, I love the villain designs across the board. I think I want to know more about them. They break down
just enough to get you wet to be like, okay, I can't wait for the next episode to find out more about each individual one of these guys. So we get the propaganda video of how the ERA started, how they followed Edison, and how they kind of flipped what Edison was doing, even to an eviler extent.
Right.
And now they're powerful and in a position to keep changing things.
And your human projector guy gets set on fire.
Because he's so old, and he hasn't fucking updated like everybody else in the room. So he starts running off in a gasp to not burn the film in himself and obviously die.
I do like that they title this part the Clone Saga. It's a good
like
nod to Spider-Man. That's just a nod to Spider-Man, right?
Or Star Wars.
Or Star Wars, yeah. That's good.
I hope not Star Wars, though.
Yeah, I hope not.
The Clone Wars.
And she just describes about how when she joined, they were doing all this cloning stuff, and she's kind of kept it going.
Now she doesn't want to ever get old, so she keeps using. She basically has all these clones as a farming system.
Yes.
So anytime she needs a lung, she just pulls a lung.
She harvests.
It's like The Sixth Day. If you ever seen The Sixth Day.
Yeah, she harvests her own clones.
Underrated Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I will have to say.
Quantum gets a look at on a monitor of Woody being tortured.
Kind of enjoys it.
He's like, "Fuck,"
but knows he's got to go save him.
Damn it! Now I gotta save him. Right? I can't just be here at a monitor. I have to like get involved.
Which is weird for him because typically he's not a monitor. That's the first out of character moment.
You're right.
For him.
He thinks about it before jumping.
Usually he just jumps in. So finally, at least his character is learning.
Yeah.
Here's the first arc. but he can't even kind of fully do that. He has to be of action because his brother has kind of put him in a situation where I can't think. I have to think on my feet. I can't plan and then react.
So he goes back to that room of rejected clones and opens it out to let the monstrosities loose.
Right.
And he like shows up at the comm center or the main room. Is like, I've got all these guys and they're gonna bring you to your knees, and all that shows up is like a goat,
which is the best scene ever, because the next panel is all of them freaking out of like, you let the goat loose.
The goat is
not the goat, right? So like the reader has no idea what they're talking about. It just looks like a little goat.
Darwin is loose.
But you just see the eyes turn red.
And Quantum's like, I kind of feel you guys are just, you're just making fun of me here.
And then you just see, you don't even get to see the chaos. You just get to see Quantum's face of like, oh my god, what is happening? And then just like everything ensuing behind him. Like he has to leave the room because the goat is causing so much commotion. And damage and destruction. It's amazing.
It shows we're not sure what the goat's doing. But
we just know he's
shooting lasers.
But we know he's fucking up shit.
Yeah.
It's left to your imagination to how much chaos he's actually causing and why these villains are so afraid of him. But they're right to be afraid because he's fucking everybody else. Meanwhile, Quantum finally has to come.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's fighting Gerard Butler. So finally, this is his first real fight in 4 issues.
Yeah,
if you don't count Woody.
Yeah, and he ends up with the "I'm a fucking superhero, bitch," which I loved. I was like, that's pretty sweet.
He finally gets to own it.
Yeah, he gets to own it, and he tasers Soviet Gerard Butler and knocks him down. He needs to free Woody, so he fucks around with the.
He makes it to the light bulb room
and yanks him out of the giant light bulb.
Clang, which seems to be the catchphrase for this comic moving forward. And I believe it's just the sound of their gauntlets touching each other.
Yes.
Clang.
That's
Clang.
the thing.
So that's their handshake. That's their.
And the first thing Woody wants when he comes out of the light bulb is to know if Quantum will be his wingman for that hot clone that came to his door.
So clearly his mind is on the prize.
Yeah, he's got his priorities lined up.
Well, to Woody's credit, how often are you going to get to fuck a hot clone?
Yeah.
Again, I'm still on the side for him having probably the smartest mind.
Yeah, and you find out that the detective is also
a clone
from, and she's
pretty hot.
She's pretty hot, yeah. We never got her name, did we?
Probably, but we went over it.
Yeah, I think we went over it. She wants
You can call her Weird Face.
Yeah, Weird Face. Weird Face wants Alejandra.
Yes.
Which is the detective. To
kill him.
Yeah. To kill him. She's like,
finish the job.
She's like, I'm not doing that. She's like, I'm sick of you ordering me around all the time. Right? And Weird Face. Is that what you said? Weird Face?
Yep.
Doesn't like it too much, so she tries to
explode her?
No, she's got little tentacles on her thing. She's trying to wrap her up and throw her away.
Right. Doesn't really work.
And they call her scrote neck. There you go.
Not so fast, scrote neck.
What do you call her, scrote neck, right?
So the heroes finally make it into the room where the villains are now at each other's throats, trying to power struggle. They decide, okay, that's enough of this shit. Let's fucking kill her and get out of this motherfucking place. So they knock over scrote neck, Weird Face. But I guess she pushed like some self-destruct button on the whole ERA building.
She did, but she tells them that their dad actually killed himself.
So we get a little more exposition.
And that Gerard, Soviet Gerard Butler,
right,
is actually a woman, one of her clones. He's like, well, that's a woman? And
then doesn't like Woody start giving him business?
He goes, I hope that wasn't a hate crime. me tasing her, right? Yeah. And I called her a bitch, right? Yeah. Their humor is pretty good.
Well, Woody's humor.
Well, that was Quantum that did that, though, right?
Oh, fair enough.
I tased her. I called her a bitch. Like, he's trying to be innocent, right? But
no, you called her a bitch. No, that's not even his humor. That's him being serious.
Yeah,
like,
but it's funny to us. She tries to whip them with one of her tentacles. They dodge it, or Quantum blocks it from Woody.
Right.
And it goes into her chest. So she essentially kills herself.
So we think.
Yeah, and she melts away, right?
It's not even kills herself. Like her fake skin gets peeled off, and you actually see who she is below.
And she's basically just like a skeleton.
Yeah, right? Gross. She's the Red Witch from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have her choker on.
It's kind of fake. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
There you go. Spoilers. The Red Witch is old.
We get a little scene
Cut
from
to
your projector guy.
I love that guy. He's the best.
Just finding like dead bodies and shit.
Yeah, he left with all this trouble ensued to go
He was
put out a fire.
overheating,
Yeah. So he comes back and everything's just fucked up. He's like, what the fuck? And little does he know, a big beam comes shooting through, and I guess like that's...
It blows up, yeah. There's a self-destruct. And Quan and Woody take off on a boat.
The boat that Eric stole.
Yeah.
With a little stowaway.
With Alejandra.
Another one as well.
They do find out that
the goat is on the boat too.
Yes, the goat, yeah. There is a flashback of when Eric blew up the lab as a kid, and you find out that Woody was walking outside of it when it happened.
Right.
And he took the blame for it. That's why he ran off.
Yep.
So he wrote a
note saying, I did this, it's my fault, I gotta go.
To cover for his brother, and he's kind of like, I was a screw up, so I don't want you to get in trouble, right?
And they have this nice little like brotherly moment where they understand that they're both victims of circumstance in their past, and now that they can kind of hopefully move together. But there's way more questions than answers.
Yeah.
And there's first four, but there's so much here that you're like, what happens next?
Keeps you going, right?
Yeah.
And then they leave with Alejandra, the hot clone, and the goat. That's the end
for this
of this 4 issues.
They come back in issue number 5.
Which we have not even read yet.
No, we will not.
Are you going to read it?
Oh, yeah, I will.
You going to keep going? I think I'll probably finish this, because I think this run is only about 12 issues, so I'll finish this.
I want to know what happens with the goat.
I want to know more about the villains, too.
Yeah, Projector Man's got some more shit to do.
The place blew up, so you can assume that most, if not all, are dead.
No,
but
I will not assume that. This is a
comics,
comic book. So
but it's comics.
There's always another base. There's always another way for them to survive. There's always another lesson to learn, and they still got to figure out how their powers are and what they're going to do with these clones. So, not a bad read.
No, not a bad. Would the Valiant's doing their movie universe, right? Starting next year with Bloodshot. There's no announcement for Quantum and Woody,
right?
But do you think this arc would translate well?
This arc or those characters?
Well, the characters I think would translate well.
Yes.
On movie. I don't know if this arc would.
I wouldn't.
Maybe a little too much.
I would use the arc. I would love dropping these characters into any fucking setting possible and just having their dynamic play off.
Yeah.
Because they can be dealing with something like that the audience doesn't know, but the fact that they don't know how to function with each other and they just keep going back and forth is hilarious and kind of...
Would you keep the whole dad plot, though? Dad, because it's a good way to bring them together if you're going to start with them far apart, right?
So, if you had a Bloodshot movie and in just one random scene... 2 characters break through a door that happens to be like some little basement.
That would really change the tone of Bloodshot.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they could literally just have a scene where they break in, and just like the starting of this comic, you don't understand. The audience doesn't know how they got there. They're just in their world now, and you're just listening to their back and forth. You can just give them 10 minutes of back and forth, and then them leave. Yeah. And that's enough for me to be like, we need a Quantum and Woody.
Even an after credits, right? Or the end of the movie.
It's like, I'm stuck with you again.
So the whole dark Bloodshot movie, blood is all done. That's kind of the wrap up, right? Like, look at these fucking lunatics, right?
Because it's a dude that's dressed up as a full ass superhero, a guy that's in a suit. They keep clanging shit, but obviously they know each other because of the way that they talk, but they don't like each other because of the way they talk. Yeah. But they do like each other because of the way they talk. That's all I really need. I'd love to get your villains in your rogue gallery. I'd love to have some amazing plot, but I don't need it.
So what didn't you like?
The art is interesting at times.
I thought that final issue had the best art.
Yeah, but it's kind of jarring in certain issues. It's like they're like top heavy, so like they really worked on their upper body and their like face, but their legs are just like
everybody's leg day.
Boned out. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. But I do like the panel selection because there's certain moments where they decide to anytime
it's great,
anytime it's Woody,
it flowed well.
Yeah, Woody and Quantum in a page. They know how to properly place each one of them so that the energy works well and what they're saying kind of flows off of them. Even when like the whole blackface conversation, the way that played out.
The way it unfolded was hilarious.
So funny. And you could see that happening. And then just Eric's reaction of just like the face.
That
the fact
face,
that we keep using that face so much.
That gets passed around.
Like that's so nailed, right? I think they fucking understood brother
very
sibling
well.
rivalry.
Very well.
That's amazing. Like I could see this being me and my brother because we would fight more than we'd probably work well together.
Yeah.
And then inevitably end up having to work well together so we could just fight again.
My one complaint is I want to know, like I mentioned it before, I want a bit more about the villains.
Yep.
Because they had the whole gallery there, but they didn't name off like 3 of them, right?
But I get it, right? Like
I get it
the first 4 is you're trying to get Quantum and Wooly. He's woolly in my.
I think you're on purpose. No.
No, that was I'm stuck on woolies. They're trying to get you behind those two characters as much as possible.
Of course.
And give you. I feel like the flashbacks did the most justice for their characters.
Flashbacks are actually really good. I don't usually like, but you know what's good about them? They were only the one page. Sometimes two, and that was it. It was like really quick little sub stories that kind of help flesh out their relationship. Right.
This was more of a comedy than it was an action.
Absolutely.
I didn't get a lot of action until like the fourth issue, which works. But then that's one of the downfalls, because in a comic book you need a villain to go against your heroes, and that didn't really pan out until.
I mean, the Nightmare Brigade was a bit of action, but they ended up running away, right?
Which is their character, which is what they would do.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like a taste of what's to come. So, like, this is the best teaser for issues that I could get. Like, I want more, but it's only because I want to keep reading more. So you hope it almost
feels
it unfolds.
It almost feels unfair to judge it until you read
the
a
entire
little further.
art.
Yeah.
But here we are judging it. Yeah, here we are. It sucked.
So where do you think, where does it go from here? Where would you take the five of them on the boat? Because the cops are still after them for the dad's murder, right?
Are they?
Yeah,
the lead detective's now on their side.
But they would just replace her with something else.
So the next two issues have to be exposition.
Proving their innocence, right?
Well, not even that. It's exposition about how the clone and the detective fit into this whole scenario. Right. What the ERA actually is.
Because the police department doesn't know that the detective is a clone still,
and
right? So
for
it's
me,
kind of like their inside man.
The police are like secondary, because if I'm scrote neck, weird face lady, I
will probably come back.
Of course, she's not gone. I have tabs on each one of my clones, so I'm just tracking the two that you've taken.
With them, Plus the goat.
And that could have been a ploy by them too. Like, of her, I've been like, okay, pretend to fuck me over and befriend them, and then get closer, get the gauntlets off, right? Because Woody's eventually gonna drop his pants to one of them. Yeah,
so probably the short one, right?
But, and that's, I think, maybe. That's also a flaw for me with the gauntlets, the bracelets. If those were attached to their arms, I think that would have been better.
Oh, like permanently.
Yeah. If you can take it off, it's so much easier for like someone to just come take it off. Yeah. But if it was always on Woody's arm, and then clones were like constantly like trying to cut off his arm, that would put him in different kind of scenarios where it's like, well, we don't really need you anymore. We just want the arm. It's like, well, he would have something quippy and hilarious to say about that. It's like, I give you my right arm, but like not my left arm.
Yeah. Well, they didn't really talk about. I know Eric didn't have it in the one panel or the one page, but they didn't really mention how they were taking it off, right?
So like my comparison is.
So it's weird. Maybe it was a slip. Maybe it was like.
If you ever, hopefully.
If
you ever seen Cowboys and Aliens or read Cowboys and Aliens. Yep. The device
stuck on him. Yeah,
it's for life, right? He doesn't know how to fucking, and that's part of the whole problem. Is like, I don't know what this is, but I'm trying to get it off, and he's freaking out about it. Before he realizes, like, oh, it's a weapon, so maybe I don't want to get it off, right? They were so quick to be like, oh, this is cool, this is a weapon, I'm gonna take it off. Yeah. It's like, no, it should be, it should be a part of you until you really understand what it is. So then I hope the next few issues are exposition about what the power sets are, what the evil organizations are, and how Quantum and Woody really fit into this universe. Because right now they're kind of outside looking in.
Yeah,
they don't belong, and
they don't.
They shouldn't yet.
Because they're even goofier than Archer and Armstrong, right? Like they're just like kind of in their own. They're almost like the Deadpool of. No, they're not. Because kind of. I was gonna say because Deadpool fits in everything, but at the same time his tone doesn't. No. So like
but Deadpool is smart enough to know he doesn't fit in, and still does what he wants because of that.
And you can see Quantum idolizing the whole superhero thing, right? Like the whole story is about, are you guys superheroes? Oh, yes, I am, right? Yeah. And I'm a superhero bitch at the end, so he loves it, right? He's high off it. Yeah. I don't know how he's going to fit in with a bunch of other guys who don't love it as much.
Time will tell. Yeah. And then the goat. I need more goat.
Yeah, definitely need more goat.
Not your goat, like the real goat.
Yeah.
Make your goat pun, and then we'll end it.
No.
Don't you mean bah?
No, I just want to know, is this a boom or bah?
You can't see my face.
That was the Quantum face.
But you know,
that battle.
It is. It's
boom. Give it up.
Boom. Boom.
And even still, nobody cares. This segment is called Heroes from a Hat, where we take two heroes. Take two.
You should hear the deleted scenes of stuff that we don't record.
Wow.
Round 2.
Round 2 of Heroes from the Hat, where we take 2 heroes, and we're gonna put them in.
It's getting down to the nitty gritty.
They're gonna be against each other in a race. So we're gonna take our heroes and not look who they are yet. Did you look? Did you see mine?
Well, I looked because we were dumb enough to print them on 2 different color papers.
Oh, okay.
So
I
like
see.
you could,
Yeah.
Okay, I picked. I didn't look this time.
Some are yellow, some are white.
Yeah.
And
Racist.
now I'm.
Some are Caucasian.
Now
It's
some are what?
jaune. Hit him with the French, son. Hit him with the French, son.
So you picked out the.
Did you pick the race?
Yeah, pick the race.
Okay, what's the race?
And the race is going to be a potato sack race.
Nice, amazing. And
Potato sack race between
oh god, I got Wolverine.
Silver Surfer and
Wolverine? Is Wolverine getting a potato sack? I feel like that's
He's gonna shred it with his.
but I feel like that's gonna trigger something to his past,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
somehow potato sacks.
He's
where,
gonna
like,
go bonkers.
he was in a war like against the
Yeah.
Irish, and it's like grrr, and like it just shreds him.
Yeah, and Surfer's just gonna like, because they don't.
Pride.
I don't think his surfboard has to go in the potato sack.
No, I
So
think,
he's
I
gonna
think
go
he can
on
go
top.
in the sack and just,
Yeah, just-
zoom off. And like the sack may be bigger than Wolverine because he's not a tall man.
No.
I think you could
he'd
trap
have to
in
his
the sack.
neck or something.
It seems like this is something that would easily frustrate him because he's got those weird boots that jut out too.
Yeah, he might not get
So
off.
that gets like if he
Yeah.
trips and falls, he's like fuck.
Classic
this," and
costume, yeah.
Snit. Like
He may not leave the start line. Just get super
he'll
pissed.
leave. I just don't think he'll get far.
Yeah.
And he'll get super angry.
Gene.
Yeah, and if he sees Gene or like raisins in the potato salad,
Well, this guy
is
just-
Gene like this happening at a barbecue, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
a
barbecue,
cookout
it's a
sack.
cookout, yeah.
So all the families there and everything, right? Like all the X-Men and Fantastic
Gene.
Four and Gene, right? And like Cyclops is over on the tree like making out with her, and he's like, no, I'm gonna win this for
And
you.
then Surfer's just kind of coasting.
He's casual
Yeah,
about it. He's so
yeah.
cool.
He just,
Damn it, Wolverine.
yeah, Surfer's got in. Wolverine cooked, pal.